Moxie Ann coming at you with another dress tutorial. Sorry it took so long. This is the Kim Kardashian dress that I showed you guys. I don't know if you could see it. This is the one that I made from jersey material. So if you're going to make this dress, make sure it's a nice thick jersey material, because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be using our irons to bind these little square, I don't know if you guys can see them, square embellishments onto the dress. So for this tutorial, you're going to need your pattern, which I'm sure all of you guys have a little dress in your closet that you can do. Or you could also use a t-shirt, but make sure when you're coming down on the hip area that you extend it out a bit, because you want to give your hips some space. And you're going to need scissors, tape, and also an old pillowcase for when it comes to ironing. So we're going to put this over the dress with the embellishments and iron on the embellishments over. We're going to use the iron on top of this over the embellishments. Sorry about that. So let's get started. I'm just going to use this dress as my pattern. I've left a little space on the fold. So this fabric is folded 4 times, so that's going to produce me 2 pieces, my front piece and my back piece. So I'm just going to go ahead and start cutting. So this is a very easy dress to make. Like, all my stuff is pretty easy, so it doesn't, you know, get too complicated around here. So as I said, I'm just going to leave a little bit more material out so when I do my seams. And this is not a no-sew dress, so I'm going to be using my machine. You could go ahead and take the challenge if you want and try to do it no-sew. The only thing I do caution you about the no-sew video, if you watch mine, is don't wash it in the machine. Try to hand wash it very gently and hang it to dry. Don't put it in the dryer either. So here I've cut out my pieces. And I've cut 2 pieces at the same time. So I have my back piece and my front piece. I'm going to cut it a little shorter. It's a bit long. I was thinking of making it super short, but I don't like my knees. So you're a little dark. So I tend to go with a longer version of dress or skirt when I do mine. So here we go. We have your 2 pieces, 1 front and 1 back. I think they're a little big though. I think I'm going to do a little bit of trimming. But I'll take them apart. So I will label my front piece with a piece of tape. So this will be my front piece. You could always write F on the tape if you want for front, if you're not going to remember. So I'm going to cut it down just a tad bit, because it is looking a little big, but not that much. I'm also going to cut down my back piece a little smaller too, because your back piece is always around this area smaller than your front, right? Because you need your front a little larger for your breasts. So your back is usually a little bit smaller than your front piece. Cut her down a bit. There. So that's the front piece. And again, I'm going to cut down the back piece a little bit. Looks huge. You have to be careful when you're cutting though, because I've made the mistake of cutting so much off and then the dress is no good because it's way too small. You have to give it away to a friend, all the work that you did to give your friend your dress that's smaller than you, if you have a friend that's smaller than you. I don't. Joking. I have tons of friends that are smaller than me. So go ahead. So this is my back piece. So I'm going to leave the bottom the same, virtually the same, but when I get up to the middle, I'm going to take a little bit out. So as I said, if you're using a t-shirt as your pattern for this, tutorial, just make sure that when you get down to the bottom, the hip area, that you extend it out, or else you're going to be really tight and uncomfortable. And then your dress might stretch and it looks really not nice when it's stretching. And I've seen a ton of that where the dress is too small for the person, but they still insist on wearing it. So back to my front piece, I'm going to cut the neck a little bit lower because I like a little cleavage to show. As I said in my previous videos, I like long dresses with a little cleavage. So here goes that part. And you could go as low as you want to, just make sure it looks decent. But what's decent, right? Each to his own, I guess. Okay, so we're done cutting our pattern out. So this is the front piece. It still looks a bit big. I might go in and cut it in again, but I'm going to move on to show you what to do now. It's my chalk. Sorry guys, can't find my chalk. It's white, so it's probably amongst all this. Oh, here it is, white chalk. It's going to be a little difficult to see. I was trying to get blue chalk, but they didn't have any. They ran out. So I'm going to use white chalk. So what we want to do here is develop a pattern for our embellishments. Now you could go ahead and be creative. You could do a set of 3, like 1, 2, 3 rows of squares all the way down. That looks really good too. And then a set of 3 all the way across. That looks really good. But I'm going to do the same thing that I did on this dress. I love this dress. See, where I'm coming from the breast section, about here, and doing like a half moon all the way down to the hip area. So that's what I'm going to do with my chalk. And again, you don't have to be too precise, but you want it to look professional. You don't want it to look all over the place. So I'm going to start approximately about 4 or 3 inches from the armpit. So I'll mark that. Can't really see. And I'll just go just like this and create a half moon all the way down. And that's going to be my guideline. I could barely see this, so I'm probably going to have to go and get a pen. And that's going to be a problem because a pen is not going to be able to come out. Yeah, I can't see that. Okay, hold on one sec. Sorry, guys. I'll get a pencil instead. Sorry. Okay, so I've got a pencil. So what I'm going to do is create a half moon. All, as I said, from the breast to the hips. You could go ahead and be creative, do anything you want. Whatever you do, as long as you lay the squares down nice, it's going to look fine. So go ahead. I'll come. And you don't start from the edge. You're not going to put your first embellishment on the edge because you're going to have to make a seam there. So you're going to come about an inch away from the edge for your first square because you don't want your machine to hit that. This is a lot better. I can kind of see it. I don't want to go too dark because I don't know. I think that's a bit low. Another issue that I'm having is they ran out of the little embellishments, so I'm going to have to probably use 2 different kinds. So that looks good. As I said, it doesn't have to be perfect, but make sure the both sides are similar. So there, that looks good. You could go in and with your ruler, if you are a perfectionist, and just make sure that everything is, I'm going to erase. Does that work? Well, it kind of works. And just make sure that these, which they don't line up right now, line up so the end lines up. Okay, there we go. And then you're going to use whatever embellishments you want. Because I said I messed up and I bought 2 different colors, I'm going to have to go ahead and do 2 different colors. So I have, I'd call it a brush steel, which is like a steel with a dark finish. And I have a copper with a brush finish. So these look nice. They'll probably look nice together. My material is cream, it's not white. I don't know what it looks like on the screen there, but it's not white. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to do the same as I did here. I'm going to place 1 brush, and I'm going to use my line as my guide, and 1 copper, side by side, just like that. I hope I have enough. So 1 brush and 1 copper. Oops, so that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to go and lay all this down and iron it and come back and show you the finished result. So I hope it doesn't take me that long. It should take me about 15 minutes to lay everything down and get back. So I'll see you guys then. Mwah, love you.